Welcome to the 10th part of this tutorial series where we're creating a GTA clone in Scratch. And in this video, we're going to be adding civilians to our game. So let's get started with, adding these civilians. So the current state of our game is, okay, actually, let's go ahead to our car and remove this, and yeah. We have AI cars or NPC cars driving around the world. But what we want now is to have more AI than we have now. Well, not necessarily AI. This is not AI by any means, but more computer controlled characters. Because as we roam around the world, it's quite empty, even though we do have cars. They don't spawn as much as it should. Actually, what you can do is probably go to our game manager. If you want to increase how many cars, can probably reduce this and this. But anyway, we'll see cars later. What we want to do is add civilians, and to begin, we're going to upload a brand new sprite, and in the description you're going to get a link for this. It's just civilians, and yeah, just input this first one. And now we just need to set its size, but we're gonna set its size to about 65. So let me set it to 65. Oh man, okay, 65, which is still big. Wait, let's go to our player. Let me go to my player. Okay, so yeah, let's just size it to the point where it's at the same as our player. So let me try 45. Oh wow, that's still big. Okay, 25, which is I think that's perfect. Wait, let me the player. Nope. Let me try 35. Yeah, okay, 35 is fine. If I just set this 0, it's still a bit too big. Let me set it to 30. Yeah, okay, yeah, 30 is fine. So our citizen right here, once you import the first one, next let's import it in this order. So walk 1 civ 1, and then you want walk 2 civ 1, walk 3 civ 1. So hold control when clicking on the next one. Walk 4 civ 1, walk 5 civ 1, walk 6 civ 1, and yeah, that's where it ends. So now we have a walk animation for the first civilian, and then you're going to do the same for the second one. And the only difference here, as you can clearly see, is the hair type. It's the same player we have here, but with different hair. So now walk 2 civ 2, walk 3 civ 3, walk 4 civ 3, okay, walk 4 civ 2. This should all be civ 2, my bad. So walk 1 civ 2, walk 2 civ 2, walk 3 civ 2, walk 4 civ 2, walk 5 civ 2, and walk 6 civ 2. So if we import this, okay, so let's look at walk 1, 2, 3. Okay, so yeah, walk 3, walk 4, walk 5, all civ 2. Okay, now the next thing we do is our final one, which is our walk 1 civ 3, walk 2 civ 3, walk 3 civ 3, walk 4 civ 3, walk 5 civ 3, walk 6 civ 3. Okay, so yeah, now we have our female as well. So we have short hair and then our long hair characters. Now we can go into our code and play around with it. So the first thing we're going to do for I'm going to rename this to civilian, and then we're first going to have our code, which is position. So go to your car sprite, go to the car, and yeah, this position stuff, just put it here, and then take this out, and take this out, and this out. So as I've described before, this just defines the position, which defines if our player is going to be on the screen or not. So here we're just going to say hide, and if our character is supposed to be on the screen, it's going to show up. If it's not within these boundaries, it's going to show. It's going to hide, and if it is, it's going to show. Next we're going to work on a randomness for our character. So we're going to say when I start as clone, where is the when I start as clone? Right here. So when I start as clone, we go to our looks, and we're going to change color effect by, and then we're going to pick 1 to 200, because that's the range that this affects. If I'm this is the range that this affects. And next we're going to basically set our civilian types and also set up some properties for our civilian. So we're gonna go into when I start as clone, and we're gonna say wait 3 seconds so that we get this correctly, and then we're gonna wait until the death of our civilian. So let's go ahead and grab the bullet. Oh no, let me not say bullet first, but let me say or and. So we're gonna say okay, we're gonna put or here, and then we're gonna put and here, and then or here. So we're gonna say if touching bullet or touching an explosion. Okay, we just want to put it here. Or touching explosion, or in this case we're touching a car, and car pedestrian equals to true. So we're going to create a brand new variable called car pedestrian collision, and we're going to make it for all sprites, and then we're going to say if car pedestrian collision equals to true. And basically what we're doing here is we're waiting until our character dies. And the reason I say wait 3 seconds is the minute our civilian spawns into the game, we want to give it like a 3 seconds of invincibility, so that we can't immediately, let's say a car somehow gets immediately when it spawns. So we don't want all that. We want to wait 3 seconds. And also the reason why we have car pedestrian collision is to make sure that the player is in the car. We're going to set up the variable to be like that, but we're going to make sure that the player is in the car when the car and civilian touch, so that here we're going to have wanted levels as well. So not wanted levels, wanted levels. So this is also something we want to add crime into the game. So the first thing we're going to say is stop other sprites in other scripts in this sprite, and then we're going to change a public variable. We're going to call it civilians killed for all sprites, and then we're going to change civilians killed by 1 and broadcast star change. And as I said, we're not going to do any of this attacking stuff, not attacking but police stuff yet, but we're going to add it soon. So now let's simply say, let me grab 3 if statements. If civilian, so also going to create civilian types. So this is also a bit for later. So if civilian type for this sprite only, then we say if civilian type equals to 1, then switch costume to walk 1 civ 1, duplicate 2 3, walk 1 civ 2, walk 1 civ 3. So we're just gonna change it to its default sprite, and then we're going to repeat 10 times position, because we also need this position sprite because we're not doing any of the other scripts anymore. So we're gonna do position and change ghost by 10, and then we're also going to create another variable called civilian number, make it public, so for all sprites, and then we're going to set the civilian number, oh, not set it, my bad, but change it, change the civilian number by -1, and then set do I do this now? Yeah, let me do this now. Set health, oh my goodness, health chance set health chance, where do we, oh my days, health chance to 1 or 2, and then I'll explain what this is right now in a second. Just copy the code. Oh, let me not do that. So what we're doing right now is repeat 10 times, as I said. Change the ghosts just to make our fade, our player fade, not player but civilian fade away when it's killed, and then we're changing the number of civilians by -1, so meaning we've lost 1, and then we're gonna set health chance between 1 or 2, and right now we're gonna say if health chance equals to 1, we want to drop a health bar for our player. And you may notice we don't have a health bar in the game yet. We're gonna have one later, but of course right now I'm just doing setting up the code for it, so we don't we're not in a pain situation later on. So we're gonna say my x my y create so create clone, and then just for now paint is gonna call this health pickup. This is not the official sprite, of course, but just some real quick. Boop, boop. Let me just make it a bit smaller. This ain't the best looking health bar I've ever made, but I think I'm overdoing this. I'm overcomplicating this. This is the health bar. It's not the final one, but this is the health bar, and we're gonna call it health bar. Go to civilian, create a clone of health bar, and please, as I said, this is not the official health bar. This is just to see if it works, and delete the clone once we die. So next thing is we want to see forever when I start this clone. So when I start this clone, forever, I think, did I explain this? Create a clone of health bar. We're saying I spawn x and spawn y to my x and my y, so that once we spawn the health bar, we say when I start this clone, and make its my x and my y to spawn x, spawn y, so it spawns in the correct position, and delete the clone. Okay, so now we're gonna say if civilian collision equals to true. Do we have that? No. We're going to make it a private. So for this one only, civilian collision. And we're gonna say if civilian collision equals to true. Wait a single second, and then we're gonna look if not or car player set. My mouse turned weird. Whatever. False. Civilian collision. Okay, so here we're saying if civilian collision equals to true, you want to set it back to false if we're not touching a car player. Every 1 second we check for that. I think that's pretty clear. Now we want to set the spawn positions for our civilians. So just as we had the car, have some spawn positions. Okay, let me set this to 30. So just as we had our car have some spawn positions, we want the same for our civilians. So yeah, let me go to our city costume. So for example, oh my goodness, for example, we want let's say spawn position to be right here, and then we're gonna have our citizen civilian go from here, and then when it notices it's here, it goes down here. When it notices it's here, it goes here, and then back around about. And we're gonna have that for a couple areas. Here's another spawn point, so it simply goes from here and then back. So we're just gonna have a ping pong around the map. So let's go to our code for our civilian and set the first spawn point. So we're gonna say when I start as clone, and I think we might need an if else statement if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, if else. So set if else, and then we're gonna have different type of civilian spawners. So this is gonna be public as we're accessing it from the game manager. So if is it for everything? Nope. And if civilian spawn equals to, we're gonna have the walking civilian spawn and we're gonna have the driving civilian spawn. So the one we're making this video is only the walking. We're gonna do the driving in the next video. We're basically saying if civilian spawn equals to walking, basically if we want our civilian to walk, we're gonna set its spawn points. If not, that means we enter the car and one of our civilians right here spawned, and they're just gonna chill, you feel me? So now let's set up the first one being another variable called civilian position, and for all sprites grab this right here, and we're gonna grab an equals to operator and grab an if statement. So we're also going to grab to set and a point in direction. So this should be spawn x spawn y and pointing direction. Okay, so our first spawn point is going to be 1392 and then negative 599, and then pointing direction 0 and duplicate. Oh my goodness, we don't want comments. Duplicate this. So as I said, we're just setting its spawn position to 972. As the game is going to choose a random civilian position for our character to spawn in. So make sure you get this 100% correctly. If you are using your own city for some reason, then basically move your player to wherever it is on the map, and then go to the variable and look at your current x and y, or the current players my x and my y, and set that. So I've done that for this map specifically, and of course I'm not gonna prove it. You're gonna see it after putting everything in the game. So the next one is 3, which is going to be negative 14. Oh my goodness, negative 14 and negative 4, 5, 3, and then negative 90. Duplicate that. Now we're doing civilian position 4, which is negative 4, negative 997, and pointed negative 90. 4, duplicate. 5, negative 283, negative 1048, and then 90. This is civilian position 5. Okay. Next we're gonna do civilian position 6. Let me just set this back up. Okay, so civilian position 6, we're going to have negative 1034, negative 553, and 0. Duplicate that. Next we're doing civilian position 7, which is negative 286, negative 198, and then it's pointing direction 90. Next we're doing civilian position 8, where we have negative 1042 and then 518, 0. Next we have civilian position 9, negative 1397, and then 805, and then this is 180, our first one pointing down. Next we have civilian position 10, which is 704 and 809, and then position 11 is negative 8 and 554, and then negative 90. The next one is 12, which is 13 and negative 218 and 90. Next one is 13, and we have our last two, so we can duplicate this, make this 13, make this 14, and for 13 we have 1409 and 5 through 5, make this 90, 1409 and make this negative 207, and put this right here. Okay, so now we're going to set my x and my y to spawn x and spawn y, and then we can set my x and my y to x and y, and then set position, and then switch costume and then we're going to go ahead and duplicate this. Just try to duplicate one where the legs are both spread out as far as possible, and then just draw a little box, and we're gonna call this collider.